Welcome back. This is Ariana with the University of Cincinnati, Clermont College. Today we're going to talk about prime factorization. Before we get started, let's look at some vocabulary. So a prime factorization of a number is a factorization in which every factor is a prime number. Every whole number has its own unique prime factorization. The order of the factors may vary, but the factors themselves will be unique to that number. So let's look at what that means. So there are multiple different ways of finding the prime factorization of a number. We're going to do a stair stepper and a factor tree today. Let's start with 28. As a rule, I always like to start with 2 because it is the smallest prime number other than 1. And if that number isn't divisible by 2, I like to try 3 and then 5. We are going to start with that 2 today. So 28 divided by 2 is 14. And we'll keep trying 2 until it no longer works for us. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Notice that 7 is a prime number. So when we get to a number that is only divisible by itself and 1, this is where we stop. So we have 2, 2, and 7. There's a couple different ways we can write this. We can do 2 times 2 times 7. If you're asked to use exponents, 2 raised to the second power times 7. Let's look at 40. And we're going to use more of a stair stepper. So I'm going to put a bracket around 40. Again, let's start with 2. It's always a great point to start with. So 40 divided by 2 is 20. Try 2 again. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Try 2 again. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 5 is a prime number. For this example, I like to take it all the way down to where the only thing you're left with is that 1. So then we have our 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. And let's write it out those 2 different ways again. 2 times 2 times 2 times 5, or 2 raised to the third power times 5. Let's practice the factor tree one more time. Let's do a bigger number. Why don't we try 225? So looking at this, I know that 225 is not divisible by 2. So I'm going to see if 3 will go into 225. I'm just going to do some division on the side over here. It is. So 225 divided by 3, we're left with 75. Now we're going to see if 3 goes into 75. And it does 25 times. 3 does not go into 25. So when that happens, go to your next prime number, which is 5. And that is a perfect square, so it's 5 times 5. So let's see what we have left. We have 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. And let's write it out those 2 different ways again. So 3 times 3 times 5 times 5, or we have 3 squared times 5 squared. We use this type of factoring when we have lots of fractions with different denominators. So I would practice this skill a lot until you're really comfortable with finding factorizations, because again, we'll use it a lot when we have fractions with different denominators and we have to find the lowest common denominator. And we'll be looking at that in the next couple videos. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.